Good evening, everybody. This is Adam again. I'm making another video, and today's video is about General Michael Flynn. I want to make a video of General Flynn because if you look at the church and state, he's just somebody that I find very, very respectable and interesting as a leader in the political world, but also what he's done for America. But also, he is a Christian, so it kind of state and church and state kind of intersect with that in this realm in this video. The problem with well, first of all, I want you to notice I'm just on my camera again. I'm not doing anything fancy. I encourage everybody, even if it's just a couple people that will watch this, make your own videos. We can all be making videos and encouraging each other. I decided to wear glasses today because I might be looking at the computer screen for a little bit. I'm going to make this a short video. I'd like everybody else, who works all day. I want to be able to relax later on, maybe play some guitar, watch some football, but I do want to make this video. So here's just a few things I want to talk about General Flynn, somebody in our history that I do think we should look back on and think of him in high regard. He was born in 1958. He was born in Rhode Island. And I don't want to bombard you with too many details, but he basically decided in 1981 to join the Army. I actually got to go see a video of him back last year. I think it was in April or May. He was doing a video where he was going around the country talking about his experience in the Trump administration and how he was basically falsely accused of some things that he didn't do, and he just decided to take a plea deal in order to protect his family. But then he figured out that he should never have taken the plea deal, so he decided to withdraw the plea deal. He ended up being pardoned by President Trump. But anyways, a lot of things happen, and one of the things that he talks about in his video is how he likes to surf. And I guess somewhere along the way he learned how to surf. But anyways, 1981, he joined the U.S. Army. And he was in the U.S. Army. He spent his career in military intelligence. And he eventually rose to lieutenant general. Then, actually, it looks like in 2012 to 14, he was the director, Defense Intelligence Agency. Pushed for his goal in this agency, he wanted to push for a faster mission-focused intelligence. And for somebody that spent so many years in intelligence, you think that's probably somebody that could benefit, our country could benefit from. If you look back to the accusations against him, they weren't good. I'll get to that in a second. Anyways, he was in the U.S. Army Intelligence and Special Operations Support. Rose to Lieutenant General, like I mentioned. He pushed for reforms, and he eventually founded, when he left the DIA, he eventually founded Flynn Intel Group and became a consultant, which could be an explanation of why he was able to then in 2017, or I guess it naturally leads to this happening. 2017, he resigned because he became a national security advisor for President Trump, but he resigned in February of that year because there was a controversy over his transition period calls with the Russian ambassador. And it turns out that, like I said, he pled guilty to it. Turns out he was never guilty. There was never that conversation wasn't like the way that they made it out to be. But anyways, to make a long story short, he dedicated his whole life to America and being an intelligence officer and reforming for, like I said, a quicker and more actionable analysis for irregular warfare, which is all leading me to a big thing I want to talk about. First of all, I'm really grateful for the service that he gave this country. He's a great American patriot, and he's done a lot for our military intelligence. There's two things I want to talk about as far as what he's contributed mostly to the military intelligence, at least in recent years. Sometimes you call people the father of something, or like they're the founder of something. and make the argument he's the founder of what we call digital soldiers. He, I think, might have coined the phrase. He directly on his social media accounts, he urges supporters to act and help circulate material to lawmakers and allies, calling people digital soldiers. And he encourages them to get active, to get involved in politics, local politics. Now, these digital soldiers came around right around the Trump administration. And basically, their goal is to get online, persuade people about topics that they're interested in, persuade people about political issues that they think are necessary to win elections, or to not only do that, but to then tell them, let's do a coordinated effort to anybody that opposes our view. We're going to go up against them together. We're going to persuade people that these are not the right candidates to go into office. And then together, this digital soldier group, they go around changing the world by working together, arm in arm, side by side, sometimes working in tangent and going on different sites and all putting a bunch of comments in the same section, whatever. They're just trying to persuade the public when it comes to elections. Which also leads to another topic of persuasion, which I find interesting, and I want to mention it here. I only have about 6 minutes left, but before my camera's going to die off. It's called PSYOPs. General Flynn, I saw him in an interview. He admitted that our government uses what's called a PSYOP. It's called a psychological operation and information warfare. And I want to go into that a little bit. You see, if you go to and people might say PSYOPs don't exist, they're not real. Our government would never use PSYOPs. Wait a second. PSYOPs, he's spoken out about them. And the Army actually does have units, and they actually have doctrine for psychological operations whose mission is to influence foreign audiences on different things. I want you to Google something for me if you want to. Just Google Army PSYOP recruitment and go to the first thing on the list. It should be, if you type in Army PSYOP recruitment, PSYOP is spelled PSYOP, it'll come up with the first option of psychological operations. You click on that, it's the Army website, an actual Army.military website. And it talks about psychological warfare. Let me just put on pause for a second. Actually, you're better off going to the second link that comes up, which is psychological operations for GoArmy.com. If you go there, it explains to you an area of the military that most people don't even know exists. It's a very fascinating area. It says PSYOP soldiers work, this is from the actual military website. Soldiers work in small teams to execute missions around the world. They build relationships with leaders and civilians to gain trust and influence. They also, this is the big one, they use social media, digital marketing, and pamphlets to share information meant to help shift beliefs. Listen to that again. These things are meant to help shift beliefs and behaviors in the U.S. Army's interest. These people use intelligence, they use interpersonal skills, cultural sensitivity, foreign language proficiency, and to help affect actions and opinions of foreign individuals, groups, and governments. They literally are persuading people with information tactics. They use tactics to persuade people on different topics on information. And they can use cyber warfare to do these things. And another thing that the website actually says on the military website, they intentionally deceive. Military deception missions use psychological warfare to deliberately mislead enemy forces during a combat situation. It's a very interesting area of the law. Here's my big question for you guys to think about. General Flynn has already admitted that our government has PSYOPs department. You look at the website, it's right there in front of your eyes. The Army military website has a section talking about PSYOPs. Here's my question. What around us could possibly be a PSYOP that we think is actually real? And I want you to think about a few things. There are some things that I don't actually know that I'm convinced that actually happened. I'll give you an example. When Trump was supposedly shot in the ear. I just think there's a good possibility it didn't actually happen. If you look at some experts, they say somebody shot in the ear, their ear should have exploded. His ear didn't explode. It grazed his ear a bit, apparently. But not only that, but I've been around people that are actors. And when you look at the scene where he was supposedly shot in the ear, everybody on stage that was supposed to be a Secret Service agent, they looked like they were acting out a scene in a play. I've been to plays, I've been to movies, I've watched movies. They look like they're acting out a scene in a movie. Was that a psyop? Possibly. Our army already admitted that they used psyops. Now the question is, why would these psyops be happening? Another question to ask yourself is a Charlie Kirk situation. I've observed a lot of different things, and I don't have to go into it because I only have a little bit of time, but I'm concluding that I think he may not have actually been killed. They might be hiding him somewhere. That might have been a psyop. Now, I can go into all the reasons why, but I don't have to do that. Now, here's the thing. I can't say 100% for sure that I'm certain about Charlie Kirk's situation or about the idea that President Trump wasn't shot in the ear. But what I can say is that our government has already admitted that we have PSYOP department. Just consider, do you think it's out of the realm of possibility that they wouldn't use the PSYOP to influence people in different areas in information, on different topics in politics, and to achieve certain outcomes they want achieved, to get support for certain ideas, maybe even support for certain arrests they want to either have occur in the future or that have already occurred in the past. So as you appreciate someone like General Flynn, I want you to also just consider what he's already told you guys. There's psyops out there. What around us could be psyops that we think are real, but they're not actually real? And are we ever going to know the truth? At the end of the day, I'm just asking you guys to be open to the possibility that not everything around us is what it seems. Even the whole COVID situation, there could have been parts of that was a psyop. We don't know. Again, I'm not trying to dishonor somebody that might have died. If Charlie Kirk died, then I want to honor that and I want to pray for his family. But I'm just saying there's a possibility he didn't die. There's a possibility President Trump was actually shot. And there could be various reasons for doing this. It could be one, they want to show people how easily people will believe anything the media says. Maybe another reason for doing these psyops would be to throw off the enemy, to think something bad happened when really, and also to see who out there is actually sick enough to say that they're glad it happened. So to weed out the people that are the bad people. I don't know. But the biggest thing is you can focus on psyops a little bit. You can focus on digital soldiers. The biggest thing is General Flynn, I respect the guy. He's a great American. And when you look at generals that we should probably respect in this history of ours, we look at someone like General Patton. We look at other generals. I want you guys to think, General Flynn, he's somebody that I respect in our modern history, in a modern military history. And just remember, he's the guy that pretty much coined the idea of digital soldiers. He's also been involved in military intelligence for like decades. And he seems to really give the okay for psyops. And so just consider what psyops are out there going on that we think are real things happening, but they're just a psyop. And not everybody's going to approve of psyops happening. Some people think we shouldn't be being lied to, but other people say, well, it's not really being lied to. It's being cunning. It's being clever. Whatever angle you are, just know this. General Flynn is a patriot. He served our country for decades. I would love to see him serve again in some capacity if he's not already doing so already behind the scenes. He's a leader of the generals he's helped found, and you could actually say that he founded the digital soldier movement in a lot of ways, and also he seems to support psyops. So be open to what a psyop is. Look at General Flynn as a patriot, and ask yourself what out there could be a psyop, and ask God for wisdom and guidance to let you see things with clear eyes to see, ears to hear, and to only believe things that God wants you to believe about something, whether it's true or false. God bless you guys. God bless General Flynn. God bless America. Take care, and I'm going to do a little bit of relaxing right now after having a long day at work. God bless you guys, and make some videos. None of us are professionals. None of us have professional cameras. Just make some videos. Let's encourage each other on these videos. God bless you. Peace.